The Namibia University of Science and Technology NUST will be hosting a TechCamp workshop this week. TechCamp events are two-day hands-on participant-driven workshops that connect private sector technology experts with key populations to explore and apply innovative tech solutions to global issues. The TechCamp program is focused on results, with participants identifying real-world challenges and working in partnership with the private sector trainers to apply technology solutions to these challenges. And I'm now joined by Dr. Anicia Peters, who is the Dean of Faculty of Computing and Informatics at the Namibia University of Science and Technology, as well as Phil Sticha, he's a TechCamp Program Manager from the U.S. Department of State. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you, and many thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Phil, I'd like to start with you. Perhaps you can just backtrack as to the formulation of TechCamp. What is it in essence, and of course, how would you describe the impact it's had to date?
Sure. So TechCamp, including this one, are a 3-day capacity building workshop. We have participants from around the region coming here for 3 days. Yesterday, we focused on the participants talking to each other, learning more about the challenges they face. Today, they're going to work with our expert trainers, and they come from Africa and around the world to really dive into the technology tools. And then tomorrow, they'll spend the whole day working together to develop solutions to their challenges.
Dr. Peters, what necessitated, bringing TechCamp to Namibia? Of course, how would you describe how this came about?
Well, the problem is that we have a serious challenge with cybersecurity in Namibia, and seems as if we are making, although we are applying our mind to it and trying to bring solutions, it seems to be isolated. So what we decided then with bringing TechCamp here, and it's the first time that it's organized for cybersecurity. The theme is cybersecurity for everyone, because what we're doing is we're bringing all stakeholders in, not just parliamentarians or the industry. So we're bringing them in across all sectors. Our core areas for TechCamp is concentrating on education, it's policy and regulation, it's law enforcement, and it's industry development.
Phil, how has TechCamp helped deal with issues like cybersecurity? We know it's a growing concern worldwide. How has that aided in this nature?
So this TechCamp in Namibia is actually the first time that we have done a whole workshop devoted to this issue. So we're really hoping that the participants learn some tools that are available and really leave the workshop feeling empowered that they can tackle these issues, which can seem really complicated at first.
And has TechCamp taken place in other parts of the world?
Yes, we've actually done over 60 tech camps since the program began in 2010. We've had participants from over 110 countries. This is the first time that it's been in Namibia, but we've done 4 tech camps in the SADC region in the last 3 years. We've had one in Pretoria, one in Lusaka, and one in Kinshasa. This is the first time we've been in Namibia.
Can you speak about the past tech camps you've had? What came out of those tech camps?
Sure. So we had a great tech camp in Lusaka last year. One of the great products that was developed was an app. It's called Vote Africa, and it allows people to connect with their local registration or their local government, figure out where to vote, help them get registered to vote, and they can learn about candidates. So this app was developed by participants at the tech camp and is live now.
Fantastic. How many participants will be taking place in TechCamp Namibia?
Approximately 100, 80 from the different sectors in Namibia, 20 from the SADC region, and then we have 10 international trainers. Those trainers are predominantly from within Africa.
Fantastic. How are the trainers selected? Perhaps, Phil, you'd like to touch on this. How are trainers selected here?
So, as Dr. Peters mentioned, we have 4 tracks, and we sent surveys to all the participants that are coming. And based on what they feel they need to learn more about, we reach out to experts from around the world, here in the U.S., Europe, everywhere, and we try to find people that can speak to those specific topics. So our goal is to interview experts from the private sector, from government, to really talk about the topics that are most important to the participants here. We really tailor it to their needs.
Maybe I can also say that we consulted with the Ministry of ICT, and so they certainly also gave suggestions and proposals as to who should be invited as trainers.
Let's talk about some of the challenges that perhaps face Namibia in terms of cybersecurity. In the Namibian context, what do you hope to achieve with this tech camp at the end of the day?
There are so many challenges facing Namibia. One of our big challenges is that we don't have any legislation in place. And that, of course, impacts on everything, on all of those sectors. The other problem that we're having is that we have good internet infrastructure. We've got cheap data. People have access to smartphones, but we've never done sort of safety online for everyone. I don't mean only for children, but I also mean for parents, just for everyone, which means that it leaves us very vulnerable. And without this protection of legislation and without having a cyber emergency response unit to deal with threats coming our way, we have a problem. There are also organizations who are targeted. So organizations are also at risk of cybersecurity. So it's on all fronts.
So, and of course, you're also including all stakeholders in this particular program, yes?
Yes, we're including all stakeholders in this particular program. And as Phil mentioned, we have those core areas that we have trainers and participants working in those areas. And the aim is, at the end of the day, we would like to see proposals coming out and action plans. And the action plans have to also be prioritized as to what people want to see. So it will be sort of driven from the bottom up. So the participants themselves will sit down and say, okay, this is what we need to do. What TechCamp also does is that we have, for participants who are participating, we have small grants available afterwards where they can apply to sort of, carry through whatever activities they were planning to do. So that's also, it's not that we're just, sort of a talk show and then we leave them. Yes, we will follow it up with some small grants so that they can do it, whatever the activity is that they plan.
So perhaps you can speak to us about some of the success stories, in terms of following up. What happens after the Tech Camp? Maybe you have some examples for us, yes?
Sure. So we did a tech camp in Lusaka. We had a trainer come and work with an organization that was doing a lot of youth education. They really wanted to teach them about democracy, so they had their trainer came back with TechCamp funds and embedded with the organization for several months. And what they did was they put together a mock election system for the schools. So they would go from school to school and have the children vote on class president and those types of things to teach them about good governance and transparency.
Fantastic. Well, I understand it's taking place at the Namibia University of Science and Technology. And
actually, it's at Safari Hotel.
Pardon me, at Safari Hotel. You're entering day 2 today, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So just take us through today, what exactly will be transpiring today?
Sure. So today the participants will join, they'll sign in, and then we'll dive right into speed geeking. And speed geeking it's a fun way that we introduce all the trainers and topics. So the participants will go around and they'll hear a 5-minute pitch from each trainer. And based on those pitches, they'll decide which trainers they want to spend more time with. And then the rest of the afternoon we'll have kind of classroom style settings where the trainers will teach them how they can use the tech tools and solutions and strategies to apply to their problems. So they'll have a lot of small group work back and forth with each of our expert trainers.
Fantastic. Dr. Peters, any final remarks from you this morning?
Yes. So TechCamp will end tomorrow, but on Thursday we will have a workshop with Parliament, and during that time we will give an overview over the local situation in cybersecurity, the global situation, and we will give feedback on those action plans that I mentioned before to parliamentarians.
Fantastic. Well, all the best with the remainder days of the TechCampNamibia, and we hope to see the results from it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Well, there you have it. That was Dr. Anicia Peters, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Computing and Informatics at the Namibia University of Science and Technology, as well as Phil Sticha. He is the TechCamp Program Manager from the U.S. Department of State. It is a 3-day hands-on participant-driven workshop currently underway at the Safari Hotel, where they tackle issues such as cybersecurity from a local and a global context, and just seeing how we can make Namibia safer in terms of internet usage, etc. Do stay with us.